All right, what's up, y'all? It is time for another edition, our second one of the Afterthought Chiefs Post Game Podcast. And man, by the hair of our chinny chin chin, if you happen to see that photo of Harrison Buckner, Superman wasn't Superman in the night. He had a little touch of kryptonite. So Harrison Buckner is my vote for this week's player of the game. We're going to go to the doctor of sports himself. Welcome to the platform, Mr. Marvin Durant. What's up, Marvin?
Hey, how you doing, young man? Glad to be with you once again.
Hey, man, always a pleasure, especially because you still consider me as a young man. And a lot of other these disrespectful folks want to call me old. But, you know, as long as that comes across, man, I appreciate you on here all the time.
Hey, no problem.
Another nail biter.
Yeah.
They tell me when in sports, there's no such thing as an ugly win as long as it's a win. So
That's
we
true.
are 2 games up on 2 of the 3 top contenders, which at the start of the year, you would have had Baltimore Ravens, you would have had the Buffalo Bills, you would have had the Cincinnati Bengals. So now we take on the Ravens and the Bengals head up, and that literally essentially gives us a 3-game lead because both of them are 0-2. We're 2-0 plus. We have a head-to-head tiebreaker with the both. But man, I just want to have a game where I can sit back, kick back, do a little prepping before the afterthought show, smile a little bit instead of being glued to the TV. Marvin, what are some of the things that you have taken away from it? And before you start, welcome to everyone that is in the chat. Welcome to everyone that is watching. Please, ma'am, please, sir, we're trying to grow this. All of Chief Kingdom, share this, please. Don't just jump in, see what they talking about. Oh, that's just DL. Oh, that's just Marvin, and bounce out. Share this like you just did. Share this like you just did. Share this, share this, share this to all of Chief Kingdom. All right, Marvin, what are your takes moving away initially?
Initially, number one, offensive line still has a lot of work to do. I give us a probably a B plus on run or running attack in terms of how we do things on the offensive line. As far as pass protection, we had a lot of problems from our tackles. The rookie on the left side was basically overmatched today. No ifs, no ands about it. On the right side, Jawan Taylor still needs to get better. And the fact that he's been in the league this many years and he still hasn't perfected things is troubling to me. So we need some depth. Even our backups are not doing well. Wanye Morris, even though he did catch a touchdown, he's still having issues on the line. That's number one. Number two, I was glad to see us run the ball more. Pacheco was very, very aggressive in his nature. Even though I thought to a degree we ran too much, but I do understand because Cincinnati implemented the Tampa 2 defense, which kind of hampered Patrick Mahomes a little bit today. One of the reasons why he threw at least his first interception of the day. But I felt we could have been a little bit more balanced throwing the ball. I felt like the magicians, being Matt Nagy and Andy Reid, could have found various other ways to get the pass going. But again, a win is a win. It was good to see Leo Chenal play both offense and defense today. That was a nice little wrinkle. But I was wondering as I was watching Cincinnati, as they implemented their offense, I wanted to know where our screen passes were. We had a couple, but not nearly enough. Pacheco is good in that. That's why we got the ex-Bengal P. Ryan in there to do receive screen passes. So we was a little lax on that front. Um, but again, QB1 did not have his best game. but we pulled it out at the end of the day. And I hope all of the national media and especially those folks in the Queen City are not crying and complaining that the refs are for the Kansas City Chiefs because they were not today. Trust me.
Definitely. And there were a couple of calls, like the PI against McDuffie that set up one of Cincy scores with Jamar Chase. That was definitely not a PI. So
Right.
if they were consistent, if it was a good call, they were consistent on both sides. If it was a questionable call, it was questionable on both sides. So that's all I ask for in an officiated game is that it's so even that whether it's good or bad, neither side of fanship or fandom can complain. Once again, you've got it locked to the Afterthought Podcast. DDL Marshall, Marvin Durant. Make sure y'all share this, Chief Kingdom. If you have someone that you are watching now, you have someone in your friend list on your timeline that you know are Kansas City Chief fans. If you know they're part of the Chief Kingdom, if it's part of the Red Kingdom, y'all go ahead on and tomahawk chalk that share button and share it with all your Chiefs friends. Marvin, gotta ask you this. Patience, first drive.
Mm-hmm.
We were patient.
We
Oh
were.
man, we control. These first two games, which I'll kind of be lenient towards the Chiefs because these are two of the top, again, three teams that we are supposed to be facing down the stretch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
now, as we move forward, as we get ready to gear up, which we'll talk about a little later on in the afterthought, next week's game against the railing Atlanta Falcons, we have dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
We have.
We have really these are some of the closest games for us to have controlled. There not one time in this game that I feel as though the Chiefs did not control it, except when Mahomes hit the long pass to Rice in the fourth quarter and it was called back. That's when I said, uh-oh, Burrow got us again. But what happens? Kelsey gets down the field and we get another call, which sets us up for Mahomes to do just good enough to get Buckner there. And how about Harrison Buckner coming in and sealing it cool as a cucumber, no kind of problem.
Yes.
What did you feel about that?
Hey, that's what he's there for. He's one of the top five kickers in the league, probably number two behind Tucker for Baltimore, and he's very consistent, has always has been. And in fact, they were towing going the other way, I believe, of doing a 68-yard field goal. If
Yeah,
you would remember, they had the wind going their way, but again, if he would have missed it, it would have given considerable field position advantage for Cincinnati. But that's how much confidence they really have in him.
again, I hate to say it, but it seems almost that the Chiefs have an issue self-motivating or self-starting, but it seems like as soon as someone does something to us, it's almost like when a kid's parent says, "Don't you go fighting unless someone hits you." And
Right,
then when we get hit, then all of a sudden we show them, we're like, "Well, where was that? Where was that?" I
right.
feel as though Mahomes is like a kid with so many toys on Christmas Day that he's trying to play with everything at once, giving each toy the same amount of time, that something gets neglected or overlooked. And I think that's how the interceptions, it's like I gotta go deep, or I gotta find Trav. I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you something, and you tell me what you feel. But I think there is a voodoo on the Chiefs as long as Officer Kelsey is in the lineup instead of Travis. What do you feel?
Here's the deal. Officer Kelsey is not in shape.
Uh-oh. Now you
That's
have
what's
said
wrong with
that.
him.
You have
He
said
is
that.
not in shape. Look at his off season. You think he would be in shape? You think just a few weeks in St. Joseph would cure all the evils of the off season? Seriously, no, ain't no way. He won't be in shape until halfway through the season. He'll be ready. He'll be in rare form for the postseason. And that's when we're going to need him the most. But
Another,
right now, he's not in shape. And actually, we really don't need him to be in shape. We got the Falcons next week.
he
Hey,
can
you
play
can
his way.
he
He can
plays
play
with
his
it. So
way,
it's
Shay.
yeah,
Hey, if you're watching us, put in the chat where you're watching us from. If you are a Chiefs Kingdom member, go in there, put Chiefs Kingdom, put an arrowhead, put a tomahawk chalk, show some love. This is your internet's biggest support of the Kansas City Chiefs on a post-game part. Man, let me tell you, we got the doctor of sports. You're looking at him, Marvin Durant. Hey, man, you've got the humor of sports. You're looking at him, D.L. Marshall. You've got the bishop of sports that may be joining us here a little later, Billy Bird Sr. You got the bomber of Chiefs Kingdom, Bam Brown. And then we also have our very own resident Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champion, field grounds extraordinary, Coach T. Feasy or T. Lee, that's going to be joining us a lot. He's at the stadium right now, so he'll be joining us a lot when the Chiefs are on the road. But when you look at the different dynamics, I expect now going into week 3 and about an extra 3 weeks of practice for us to see Smith-Schuster a little bit more. Man, I don't know if you
thinking that.
I don't know if you paid attention, Marvin, but man, that boy been in the weight room. Did you see him one arm sling the linebacker?
Mm-hmm.
Like get off my rookie. And I really like that. But learning the playbook a little more, getting in shape a little more, trusting that ankle injury a little bit more, getting in the week 3. I expect to see number 9 a little bit more, Juju Smith-Schuster. I expect to see a little more Watson. I think we got away from him a little too soon. The 2 catches that he made were big, but I know going into a game plan, certain receivers only have so many targets. I also understand that Andy Reid does not want to show all of his toy gadget plays moving in, because think about it. We have yet to see Mecole Hardman this year a snap off of the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver. What are some of the things that you expect moving forward in this next game against the Falcons to move up at an unblemished 3-0?
2 words: Sky Moore.
Oh, Marvin, man, I need some club soda or some ginger ale after that, man. I need some help to biz. Oh my God, no, Sky Moore.
Yeah,
why not? Did you see his block attempt earlier today?
I did. It sucked, but he needs to get out there. But with the Falcons coming up, the Falcons ain't going anywhere quick.
Marvin, I disagree. Because then you play down to your opponent. When you have a team railing and you have a team that's not playing well, you go smack them in the mouth. You put foot to butt. Sky Moore deserves to be where Sky Moore is, special teams, and hopefully not getting pancaked when he's blocking. But he does not deserve to be ahead of Worthy. He does not deserve to be ahead of Rice.
No.
So I am not comfortable taking away snaps from Worthy, Rice, Kelsey, Watson, Gray, nor who am I missing? Anybody. You pick them. No, Sky Moore needs to be showcased just enough so at the trade deadline we can go get back some picks from him that we lost. I am not, and let me unequivocally make this clear, I am not a supporter of playing Sky Moore. That is like playing your JV second string receiver on varsity Friday night. But go ahead, Marvin. You are the doctor. I'm just an orderly. Please let us know why you feel as though Sky Moore should play more. Put it in the chat, guys. If you feel we need to see more 24, put it in the chat and let us know what you think and why.
Because number one, nobody else expects a lot of him. And, he can be that hidden assassin. He can be that surprise weapon. And plus, he needs the reps to boost his confidence. look, if he's going to be on this team, he needs to make a contribution, and not just on special teams. Being a gunner, because Hardman is going to be the return man. So Moore needs to do something. He's going to be here. Do something.
I
So
like the best thing.
we got to. But again, we have to find the best situation for him. And next week it could be it against the Falcons. I mean, I still think we need to do all we need to do and beat them to a pulp, without a doubt. But hey, let's try to work his way in a little bit, just a little doses, not a lot, just to know to say, okay, he's here, he's on the team, he's making a contribution. He may need that for his own self-esteem if Andy calls on him. You never know what may come out of it.
The only thing I'm gonna say, Marvin, is we pretty much do know what's gonna come out. It's gonna be a drop pass, or if he finally catches one, probably gets tackled for a loss or fumbles.
Okay.
What Sky Moore?
We agree to disagree on this one.
But can you agree that what Sky Moore was drafted for a couple of years ago, automatically off the rip, we're getting from Xavier Worthy, and we've already gotten from Rashid Rice?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, he quickly surpassed them. Yes,
and if Sky Moore was efficient at what he was drafted to do, we probably wouldn't have Xavier Worthy or Sky Moore. I mean, or Rashid Rice.
Possibly.
So what does he need to contribute? I'm really trying to understand the doctor's orders. What is it that, like, he's not? I tell you what.
So you feel he should be exclusive to special teams?
I think he need to continue. I think he need to continue doing what he's doing. Because what is our record with him doing what he's doing?
2-0.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to take a good rim off to put a donut on to get on the highway and drive 90 miles per hour. No.
Yeah.
No.
I
can't do it. So y'all tell me in the chat if old DL wrong about Sky Moore, y'all put it in the chat. But I really feel as though rather than to see some of Sky Moore, I want to see more of Watson. I want to see more of Hardman. I want to see more of Worthy. I tell you, the package that I was looking to see, and as we put it in the pregame chat as we were watching the game, I and the fellas, I want to see that package where it's Kelsey slot, Schuster Smith Schuster in tight, Rice out wide, and you got Worthy out top on the other side. Pull him around in a drag, fake it, take Worthy in, take Schuster out, and then do like a little post, a hitch, button curl to Travis. And out of that one play, just based off of the movements and the placement of the alignment of the receivers, you can play like 6 or 7 different routes and plays off of that one formation. But I would like to see that more in a 3rd down to 5 and 7 or goal line. Now, I also like looking at the Noah Gray, the Watson, Kelsey with Pacheco in the backfield, Rice out wide. What are some formations or packages, I should say, are you looking to see now that we have gotten to be 2-0?
I think it would be good to get back to something that we have been successful over the past few years, and that's the multi-tight end set. We have yet to see that a lot this year. That proved to be successful. It may have worked even better today. Again, we talked about going deep, and the look wasn't there. Use the multi-tight end situation. Get one of those other guys not named Kelsey involved, And that might work. That might have been better. They seem to like that rookie, number 12. They seem to like him quite a bit. So I mean, work that angle. I think if one thing doesn't work, I think Reed is smart enough. Nagy is semi smart enough. They could come up with some different packages. I think to a degree they just wanted to kind of push a certain agenda today, and again, the running agenda was good, but I think they could have been a little bit more creative today,
Do
since
you
what they since what they really wanted to do they couldn't do. I know they wanted to go deep all day, but they couldn't do it, so they just had to figure out, okay, we can't go deep. Okay, let's not go deep. Let's find some other smaller packages. Let's get some of the tight ends involved. Hey, Cincinnati sure in the heck did, especially early on.
do you think the fact that we have so many gadgets to choose from and that we are so excited and impatient to a kind of expectation, do you think that maybe we have become more critical of the two games than what we should be, or do you think our critique in the manner that we're given is is warranted? Like last week, we kind of floated. This week, we skated. When do
Yeah,
we see that big bang theory, that boom? Because the big hit was open, but here's the deal: a lot of people think the big hit is behind the safeties. The big hit is in between the linebacker and the safety, and that has been
right.
open with Watson, with Kelsey. But Mahomes does,
Hmm.
and this is just being realistic. Mahomes has not had the time to step up in the pocket, or he has not had the leisure of stepping up in the pocket, or the time to set his feet. How
Right.
how how are we going to manage that tackle play so that Mahomes can feel comfortable stepping up? Because the times that he did step up and look like he was going to scramble, the passes were there.
Mhm. Yeah, I think number one, I know they're very high on their rookie left tackle. I need to think right now based on his play today, because again, as I said earlier, he was uh, overmatched, overwhelmed to say the least. We may need to take a look at, okay, let's for a game, let's put somebody else in. Let's see what we can do. Because again, in that one Super Bowl that we did not win, offensive line was the issue.
Right,
And it seems we have shored up everything else. We got the speed back. We think we have the possession receivers. Okay, we
right,
have a consistent running attack. Now the defense is doing what they're doing, even though the outside of Trent McDuffie, there's some work needs to be done there, as you alluded to last week. Because I know the defensive backs outside McDuffie are not your favorite friends. So I
well,
think
and I'm going
that
to tell you
and,
something.
and-
I
okay,
like Watson. I like Watson. One of
yeah,
the things I would love to see from number two, which is Williams,
yeah,
I want him to keep his head out of the backfield and watch with his eyes and trust his peripheral. Hey, Brony Cat, how you doing? Thanks for watching. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Marvin, but I'm
that's okay.
okay with the defensive backfield. I'm just uneasy.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. They're not the weakest link. I think if we had to say there's a weakest link right now, it's the offensive line. And again,
Definitely,
and going back to that Tampa Super Bowl, that was our Achilles heel. And I
definitely.
don't want that to be the Achilles heel again. So they need to look at some tape, look at some film, get there and analyze what's going on, what could be a better solution, and let's get it done quick. We got through this. We sweated it out the last 2 weeks. We were lucky. Once we get into the crux of the season, when everybody is gotten better and they're going to be gunning for us even a little bit more, we need to be hitting on all cylinders.
And you know what, Marvin, with you saying that, one of the things that I think is beneficial for the Chiefs right now is the fact that as poor as we may have played in spots, we have not been really trailing in a game more than 6 points, and we are 2-0 to be playing as bad as we have played, or I should say uninspired, because I don't really think we played bad. I just think we've had lulls, and lulls come from having a focus. So the mentality within the game, that sometimes happens when you're dealing with players that's playing new positions, trying to learn. Some players that are young, they lose their focus within the game. And then sometimes players can be so elite and they're looking past certain things. I'm not saying that today because I don't see how you could have looked past Cincinnati. But I think that when we were talking about last week that we knew at some point Jamar Chase was going to lose his cool, go off and throw his helmet down for some reason. We saw that today. All the talking, I text in the group text. I said, since he just messed up, everybody ran to the end zone to dance. When are teams going to stop doing that to the Kansas City Chiefs? Ever since our first Super Bowl championship, when teams have gone to celebrate in the end zone to show us up, especially at Arrowhead, we find a way to come back and break their heart. Teams have to now be on notice. Kansas City Chiefs had their necks in the guillotine against Baltimore and Cincy, and somehow or another, Houdini found a way to get out the noose. Marvin, if you're the 31 other teams, what are you thinking? How do we stop? What are some of the things that you would do to try and stop Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs?
First of all, during the week, shut up. That would be number one. Shut up. That's number one. Practice as hard as you can and go out there for the kill. Because everybody wants to slay the giant.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to slay the giant. So go out there with hey, we're going to take down the giant. David versus Goliath. Have that mentality. And we want to slay them.
Now, you know what? You said something there. I'm going to name drop. I'm going to pop my collar a little bit here, Marvin. As I was having dinner over the weekend on Thursday night with Ali Sadiq, y'all might know the comedian Ali Sadiq, and my man Marcus D. Wiley, shout out to the H-Town homies. We were having dinner watching what we thought was a football game. Thursday became a routing between Buffalo and Miami. But one of the things that we got complimented as fandom or the kingdom is we are not obnoxious. Ali was like, y'all don't make me want to fight y'all. We are really taking this on in stride, realizing that we have the capability of doing something in history that has never been done before. So I really feel as though we have to take place and actually moving the ball as the opposite team's defense give us. I don't care if it takes us 14 minutes like it did in the first drive today to score. That's 14 minutes in our pocket. Whatever it takes to get 7 over 3, that's what we need to do. Third down conversions. How do you feel we did today? And before you answer that, ladies and gentlemen, the bishop of the kingdom, the bishop of afterthought, give it up for Billy Bird. What's up, man? You just now walking in from the Chiefs game? What's the going on, man?
Man, I was out. You see the background. I try to blur it out, man. But I've been running and been trying to get so I can get somewhere stable.
Who you trying to get away from?
I'm running from the cops, man. I'm running from the police, man. I'm trying to get into this house, man, and so we can talk about this, man. I've been listening to y'all, but of course I couldn't get to a place. You see how it's getting dark in the building. Now it's about to see the lights.
Yeah.
About to see the lights.
I'm glad you hurry up. I'm glad you hurry up and did that, because I don't like FaceTiming with a man when he in the dark. I don't like
You
that.
see what I'm saying? Now we in the light.
There it is.
Hello. Yeah,
Ooh,
man.
yeah.
So we're in the building. Yeah, man. So, man, yeah, I'm listening to y'all, man, and y'all been on point about the whole thing, about how everything has been going. And man, look, we know that our team is special. We just got to do better.
And like I'm gonna ask you, Billy, like I asked Marvin, are we really playing as bad as it looks, or is it that we have some early season quirks? And I'm gonna get your take, and then I'll come back.
I feel like it's both. I feel like that there's some little things that we need to work on and tweak. But the other thing is that let me say it like this: we are remember, there's a lot of young guys on the team. Now we got some veterans, but there's a lot of young guys on this team. And even though we did our little camp and we did all these things, when you're playing the real game and everything is real speed, everything is flowing, you got to gel. You got to learn how to gel. And then even when you're when you even on the practice fields and you're doing your thing, it's still not playing the actual people. If you understand what I mean? Nor are they in the actual roles that they need to be in all the way. So now you got to play them out. And so we're gonna need. And I said this last week. I mean, a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week when we talked last week? Is that it's gonna take? I'm always a 3 or 4 game guy. To really show who we are and what we're gonna do. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I understand that, and what I was looking at, and then I'm gonna get to you, Marvin. What I was looking at is, if you notice, last week Baltimore made some mistakes that cost them the game, and then we won. So I wonder if we have the same leeway. Will they make the same excuses for us in the motion of, well, it is early. Well, teams didn't play in the preseason. For us to have as many setbacks and quirks as we did and still be 2-0, not against Rudy Poots, but against 2 of the top 3 teams that they say were contending against us. Marvin, how do you feel actually we are going to be seeing tomorrow when the national when the national commentators pick this game up?
Well, I think they're just going to say once again that Houdini pulled it out. I mean, there is no league big enough to combat Patrick Mahomes. Cincinnati was ahead by 3 or 4, I think 6 at one point. That's not nearly enough. They know Patrick could come back from that, so they really wasn't really worried about that. And to the Bishop's point, he said he's about a 3 or 4 game guy. Well, basically, that's a fourth of the season, roughly at 4 games. And in Major League Baseball, that's what they do. The first big measuring point usually comes at around Memorial Day, which is the quarter point of the season. And I think that is a good barometer. Again, all of the rust, so to speak, will be shaken off, hopefully. And so after 4 games and the Chiefs are 4-0, I think you get a better barometer. And I think the coaching staff will probably have a better barometer and a different mindset. I'll say, okay, we're 4 games in, we're 4-0. Okay, let's ramp it up a little bit. So I think as the year goes on, you're going to see them ramp things up. You're going to see some packages that we haven't seen yet before. And I think eventually they'll get that downfield game going, depending on the defenses that are playing against them. So it's an evolution. Every week is an evolution. And again, we just can't, we have to know that every game is a gotcha game. Every game is a gotcha game because you just never know. I mean, who would have thought that Baltimore would have thought to the Raiders today. Of all teams, who would have thought Arizona would have put 41 on the Rams today? So, it's like, hey, any given Sunday. So the Chiefs know everybody's gunning for them. So they just have to continue to be creative and, and stay healthy, if nothing else.
If you look at it today, the game was won by the defense. Although we only gave up 25 points, you got to look at it too. The Chiefs defense has been averaging about 20 to 24 points a game. They gave up 25 points today. So they're staying on course. They're staying on par with the average of what they're doing. Chris Jones, to me, in the first 2 weeks, is a clear front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He has been disruptive up the middle, which has allowed George Karlaftis to get sacks, that has allowed Dana to get in. Man, the Chiefs' offensive line and linebackers have had clean shots and lanes to the quarterback. Even so much, number 27, our defensive back, y'all help me with his name. I forget his name.
Connor.
Connor had such a lane that a diesel could have went through that he had time to fake double coverage and have a delayed blitz untouched to get the sack in on Burrow. So I would say that the Chiefs defense, even without Snead, has once again bailed out the Chiefs offense when needed. I look to see them being another top 3 to 5 defense in the league. We were number 1 at the end of last year. We went against the number 2 defense in the championship game. We have defeated that same championship game. We've defeated the Bengals. Now, as you have mentioned, Marvin, the Ravens are 0-2. The Bengals are 0-2. Billy Bad Buffalo, they are now 1-1? Or are they 2-1? 2-0. I'm sorry.
2-0. 2-0.
2-0. So you look at the Chiefs, 2-0. Buffalo 2-0. Remember the guys I told you about, San Diego Chargers 2-0. The Jets going upset today. You look at the Ravens, who are in trouble because John Harbaugh is not controlling the ham well at all. He made a couple in-game calls that cost them the ball game in Baltimore today. They are 0-2 on the season. They are 0-2 against the AFC West. And those are teams that you're going to be vying against for a playoff position. Let's talk Chiefs defense. Who stood out today for you, Marvin, and then Billy after Marvin is done? Who stood out today for you the most?
Certainly Chris Jones stood out. Karlaftis had another solid game. I would say Connor, the defensive back, number 27, had a solid game today. Jalen Watson did get beat today, but I thought Connor had a very, very good game. Of course, he had to scoop and score. He had that 1 sack on Burrow. And considering he's one of the younger guys, he's a rookie out of BYU. And so he really made a mark today.
Billy.
And I would say Connor.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say the same thing. I have to give you. I got to go with Connor. Showed up big time when we needed him. Of course, you got to go with Jones. Jones was. I mean, even when he's not sacking, he's making the quarterback. He's making a move. He's moving the crowd, with somebody else is able to get in there to slow him down and to do whatever. So Chris Jones, he's always doing it. And it was a lot, and it could be this could be subjective, but I'm going back with McDuffie again. He, even though there were some calls on him and whatever, I love the physical play. That's what
terrible call. And as a matter of fact, terrible PI call.
It was, but that's what I loved about Snead as well, because Snead was that guy that he's physical.
Yeah.
And I love seeing physical backs. Those that's back there that's he's gonna get in trouble sometimes. But guess what? When he's on, he's on. And so those 3 guys, man, they did it for me.
as we get ready to wrap up tonight's episode, I'm going to say Drew Tranquill. I like the way he shot the gaps. I like the way he contained Joe Burrow when Joe Burrow wanted to step up, when it looked as though Tranquill was in coverage. When he stepped up, he was able to spy him. And most teams don't spy Burrow because he's not that kind of quarterback.
Yes.
But he didn't allow him to be elusive. So I would say number 23, Drew Tranquill, is earning that contract and the confidence that the Chiefs had in him. We're looking at Rashid Rice, man. Rice is nice. That's been my slogan. Last week, he had over 100 yards in receiving. This week, he went 5 for 75. He once again established himself as our number one receiving target. Thank goodness that it doesn't look like we're going to have to go without him due to his off-season parlays. The Hollywood Brown news. Let's play make a deal. I would say, since we know we're going to be without Hollywood Brown, we do have Juju Schuster around mid-season form. I think right now I would kind of be talking to OBJ, and I would be telling him to stay in shape, because if you now have a Rashid Rice for the entirety of this season, OBJ is going to get you some clutch receptions if you're looking in playoff time. I don't care if he comes in, has 3 receptions in one game and 2 receptions in another. The fact that you have OBJ on the field with Kelsey, with Rice, and with Schuster, somebody has to open up. Who would you say in the open market you would like to see come to Kansas City if we were to do so?
Well, first of all, OBJ, if I'm not mistaken, is still part of Miami's roster.
Oh, I thought they dumped
I
him.
don't know what he did. Oh, they may have. I may have missed that memo. But OBJ, but to answer your question, I may have missed it, but I thought he was still a part of Miami's roster. I'm just trying to think who else out there would be good. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now in terms of a wide receiver right now.
No, they don't have to be. They don't have to be. They don't have to be a free agent. I think we still have about about 6 million under the cap. Couple of draft picks. I've heard it been thrown around. Amari Cooper out of Cleveland. I'm not too sold on that because of the mentality more than the talent. But yeah, I don't know. Billy, do you have anybody that you would like to see be added to the receivers room?
Now you're gonna be mad when I tell you this one. I would take Cooper over OBJ.
Okay.
Let me explain why. The reason why is I don't like at least what I know is with Ormani Cooper, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to mess his name up. And one thing with him is you know what you're gonna get, whether that's good or bad. With OBJ, close to the same. The issue I have with him is he likes to walk around and wait to see who's going to a playoff. I don't like that. That's what I don't like about the players. At least if you get Amari Cooper, he wants to play the game. He wants to play no matter what's going on, whether he's catching, he don't catch, whether he has an attitude, whatever you want to say, at least he's going to play the game.
You know what? Last year, OBJ turned down the Chiefs to go to Baltimore, and I guarantee you he regrets that decision.
Wish he would have been. And that's the issue I have is you're sitting around saying you was hurt. Remember there was a time when he was acting like he was hurt. And then, and I know he was hurt for a second, but you wasn't hurt all the time because all of a sudden you're available and ready to go to a team when the playoffs is in. And so I don't like that in a player. So I think he's a great receiver. I think he's great in what he does. I don't think he's a great fit for our team.
Ramping up, and then we're going to get out of here. Ramping up, getting ready for week 3, the Atlanta Falcons. We got a team that's on a downward spiral. what do you say the Chiefs' main ingredient to stay undefeated and keep a bad team batting? What do you say is going to be the biggest thing for the Chiefs to accomplish? Marvin, then Billy.
I think next week have a very aggressive defense getting after Kirk Cousins, who has no mobility. You got an immobile quarterback, and if you can push back, control the line of scrimmage defensively, and put him in some very awkward situations, you have a recipe for a victory.
Billy.
That's good. I'm gonna say this is time management with us. Get away from the conservativeness in our team. Let's get loose. We need Patrick Mahomes to tighten up on his throws, on some of the stuff that he's doing. He's a better quarterback, even though we're balling and we're doing whatever. He's a better quarterback than he's showing right now. And we know we're getting rushed out, but I want to see the Patrick Mahomes that I know and love. That's I would say this. That's more. How can I say this? More confident in what he's doing. Because some of the throws and some of the stuff, like a couple of the throws and the interceptions were things that I was like, man, that was like back in the day when Patrick Mahomes was doing,
That goes back to what I was saying with Marvin earlier, is that I don't want the Chiefs to get bored. Because if this was maybe week 8, and Marvin, you've seen this before, if this was like week 8, week 9, a couple of trots or a couple of throws that you saw from Mahomes today, those he's got his head down, he's running, he's getting that first down.
Exactly.
But I believe he's trying to preserve a lot of himself. And again, I think they're trying to stay kind of green. And if they can get past that 4th week when you got a lot of ground up under you, then I think you'll start seeing some darts. All right, real quick, let's play this. Crybaby opponent of the day. Billy, who was the crybaby opponent of the day?
When you say crybaby, give me what do you mean?
You know what a crybaby is. Who was the crybaby for the Bengals today?
I'm gonna go with Joe, man.
Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow, man.
Joe Burrow got the.
Did you see him? A few of the plays he was trying to keep it under wraps, man. But there's a few times, man, when they showed his face, they showed him leaving off. He's ready to whine, man. He was whining on the field. He was whining on the field and on the side. They ain't getting it on. Joe.
Yeah.
Crybaby Joe is what I'm
Crybaby Joe. All right. What about you, Marvin? Who gets the Jordan crying meme from the Cincinnati Bengals?
Number 1, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Always crying, always upset. He ran his mouth. And hey, he tried to write a check he couldn't cash.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
That's who gets the crybaby meme from me as well. And basically what we said he was going to do at some point in the game, he did, which was him and Joe Burrow got into it on the field. Him and the receiver, him and the referee, he said something that gave us he imploded. And for him to not be able to understand that they got lucky when they beat us, and that's almost been 4 years ago. If you look in recent history, we have beaten you to go to the Super Bowl, not the other way around. We have held you in check with under 5 catches, not the other way around. At first, I was going to give it to the cornerback until he came back with that unbelievable one-hand interception. Now, I can't put that on Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes put the ball where he should have put it. I would like to have seen, and Worthy might do this as he gets more experience. Yeah. You know how if you just stop and come back to the ball, the cornerback runs into you, and that interception becomes a flag. But hands down, that was probably the electrifying play of the game for me. Even though it came from Cincy, that was the most skillful play of the game that almost cost the defending back-to-back Super Bowl champs the game. Marvin, what play stood out to you?
What play? I think that was it. That play certainly stood out. I think the scoop and score did. Outside of that one, at least for the Chiefs, the scoop and score.
Billy?
I'm gonna say
I think the energy in the stadium was kind of at a lull, and when that happened, things picked up a little bit more.
Definitely.
And this really went against us, but I'm still gonna say this: when Carson Steele the fumble, the way that they took the ball from him was crazy. Like I'm saying, I don't know if y'all really paid attention. He's running full speed. One guy pulls back, the other guy knocked the ball out. That stood out to me. I'm just saying of how even though it came against us, that was a crazy play. Like, you know what I'm saying, you know, of how they was able to take the ball, because he's a powerful guy. That stood out to me. You know, I don't know how you can defend that particular play.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a couple of more minutes. Marvin, next week, Chiefs, what are you going on the line to say the Chiefs win or lose by?
I think the Chiefs will win by 10.
Win by 10 on the road.
I
Billy?
would say win by 10 on the road, yes.
I say win by 14, 31 to 17, something like that. Something crazy.
I'm looking at possibly 30. I'm gonna say like a 28 or 30. Let me see which way I want to go. 28? Do I want to go 30? Let's go. I'm gonna go out 31-14. 31-14. Is that what you said, Billy?
I said 31-17. I gave him a little bit closer.
So I'm gonna say 28. I'm gonna say 28-10. 28-10 then. I won't crowd your pick. Last question, Marvin. What Kansas City Chiefs player would have to be relied upon and step up for us to really be dominant next week, offensively and defensively? Pick one of each.
Defensively, Bolton, number one, defensively. Offensively, I would say Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey. Officer Kelsey or Travis?
Taylor Kelsey right now. I'll just put it that
way. What about you, Billy?
I would say Kelsey the same way, but I know what they're doing with Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? So I know the formula of what they have with him. But Kelsey, I think Kelsey would be the great. If Kelsey gets busy, it's going to change the whole game. Defensively, I'm going to say Cook. I thought Cook, we didn't talk about it, but I thought Cook did okay. But I think if he can stay, because remember, we need, if anything gets past the backs, our DBs is hitting him. You know what I'm saying? Hitting them guys. And so I feel like if they can stay consistent and stay, I think we'll be good.
You said something, Billy, that brought back to my remembrance. I've never been a Cook fan. Marvin, you know this. It wasn't Watson, it was Cook. I've never been a big Cook fan. He's had a couple of plays, but as far as reading coverages, he terrifies me back there. Coming up and tackling, I am more excited in seeing something from Hicks. When Reed had to come out and from having cut his finger, and we saw Hicks. Hicks came up and made a big tackle, and then he had a pretty good over-the-top coverage. So I can't wait until they give Cook a more chance. But to answer my own question, I would say offensively, P. Ryan. I want to see more P. Ryan, and when it looked as though Pacheco may have strained or hyper extended his quad, who knows? We may have to rely on P. Ryan just a little bit more to take some of the pressure off of the rookie. So I want to see more P. Ryan. He's got great hands out the backfield as a third down back. He runs like a bull or a bowling ball in a China shop. So I want to see that. And then defensively, I think that we need to see more from the defensive end push outside of being named Chris Jones. So I'm looking for our defensive linemen to push, because I know Marvin said he wants to see more from Nick Bolton. I think you'll see more out of Nick Bolton, which has been doing a great job keeping the run at about 2 or 3 yards. But I think you're going to see the explosive Nick Bolton, who almost had an interception today, once defensive ends and the line start to even control more of the Falcons' offensive line. So I'm looking for more from the defensive line to get an up-the-field rush and push to be dominant, and I'm looking for P. Ryan to have a bigger role, possibly even a touchdown. Marvin, parting words.
Parting words. Hey, again, we got her done. It wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. We have plenty still to work on, and echoing the bishop, we got a couple more weeks to get a little better, and then we can make a honest assessment about where this team is going.
Bishop Billy Bird.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just we need to stay consistent. I'm hoping that we can get up under the 24 points and get it down to like 20, 21 points. I mean, if we can just keep it our average a little bit under, because we got some guys that can really, we got some teams that we're going to play that can really put some numbers up. I feel like if we can keep them down and we put our numbers up, there's no team out there that can mess with us. So I'm expecting the next couple of weeks that we gel together, be resilient as we are, man, and kick some butt.
When we looked at the schedule be released, I said if we could come out of this 3 weeks at 2-1, we are really rolling in high cotton. Right now, if we wind up after this 3-game stretch being 2-1, I would say we would have failed, because we took care of business against the Ravens. We took care of business against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I don't see us having any excuse of falling to the Falcons. Our next big challenge didn't look good today at all, which was the San Francisco 49ers. They kind of got held in check. Purdy looked kind of pedestrian. So hopefully the Chiefs can remain healthy as they get ready to take the three-peat show on the road. Next stop, Atlanta, Georgia. So all of our Atlanta fans, all of our Atlanta followers, all of you dirty birds, the kingdom is on the ride, on their way down 85 North to check out y'all in the dome that Dion built. Pardon words. Go for it, Marvin.
Hey, it's going to be a great week next week for the Chiefs. I see them having a dominating performance, and I certainly look forward to it. Again, offensive line, we got to work on that this week. I would say that is the number one task for Andy Reid and Matt Nagy this week.
Bishop Billy Bird.
I would say this is the Kansas City Chiefs takeover.
All right.
Atlanta. We got our team going. We got our Kansas City, our crew. Everybody will be in Atlanta for the takeover. And so we're about to do it. We're about to do it big. And I believe we're gonna leave out of there 3-0. And so this is the Bishop signing out. And I hope y'all hear that.
I'm riding with you on that one, Bishop. Hey guys, thank y'all so much for taking time out. Remember, the Afterthought Chiefs post-game podcast takes place each and every post-game. Directly after the Chiefs game, you can find the doctor of sports, the bishop of the Afterthought, yours truly, the humor of the sport. And we might even have our very own Super Bowl champion, T. Feasy, Coach T. Feasy, and the Brown Bomber himself. I don't know, man. I don't know what it's going to take to get the Brown Bomber on up in here, but one day we might get blessed to have him in here, talk some kingdom. Hey, our Atlanta Falcon folks, Billy, we just saw him. We just saw him last weekend. So we calling y'all out. We calling y'all out. We want to see y'all after the game for your afterthought next week. We coming into Atlanta as the Kingdom Takeover, and we coming back with a little piece of real estate. You know, we're going to own a little property when we get down there. So yours truly, Mr. Sadwai Fair, signing out on behalf of none other than the Doctor of Sports, Mr. Marvin Durant, the Bishop, Billy Bird. I am your man, and we'll be back next week directly after the game with yet another afterthought. Wait a minute. Is that Chief Easy?
That's right.
Wait a minute. Marvin, I know you got to go. If you got to leave, go ahead. But listen here. We got the afterthought resident Super Bowl champion, Coach Chief Easy, the MVP of last week's win. Y'all looking at the MVP of last week's win. That road up there looked kind of familiar too, man. I can see through all that. T, man, were you sweating?
No, man. You know, football is about 4 quarters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
I can't sweat about it because I'm probably the few people you know that's used to it, all the coaching and all the stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just gotta let it play its course.
Who would you say will give the Chiefs tomorrow morning as the national numbskulls? I'm sorry, I said it again. As the national analysts begin to talk about the Chiefs, who do you think is going to give us the hardest time after today's game, and who do you think is going to give us the biggest cushion and respect on tomorrow?
Man, that's kind of hard to say. Because half the time I really can't see all that stuff because, you know, I get in at 7 and half the time it's going on while I'm out in the field doing my job. So I can't really say who is and who ain't. But I don't know if he still has a platform anymore. We can't drop names like that. Mark, can't drop names like that.
Hey, Feezy, I do it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you probably hit in a hidden window. See, they can't find you. They can look me up and find me.
Hey, so how did it feel when you saw the Chiefs Kingdom drop that meme about who the real MVP was last week? Did that excite you?
Oh, man. I was cracking up. Cracking so bad, before that meme came out, one of my good friends who's also in the business sent a thing and said, "You painted that line crooked out there." Then that came out. I was like, "Oh, you spoke into an existence."
Yes,
you
sir.
Know, that's how you do it. You spoke it into existence. So I don't mind.
Man, can I ask you, how many Super Bowl rings do you have, T?
Let's see. I got 3, right? Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Woo! And that last one, oh my God.
Oh yeah. We got us some jewels in there. We got us some jewels.
A lot of people don't realize, T, that man, we were some booger bears out there on the field. And man, as many interceptions as I got, I have never, ever seen an interception like the one I saw today. Man, in real time, was that as amazing from your point of view as we saw on the television?
You talking about the one hand and what the boy climbed the tree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was real deal. That was one of those. No matter where, I mean, I feel that was a good snag. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a good snag.
Yeah, and what you thinking? I've said already. I can't put that one on Pat, man. I mean, placement. I mean, he went and snagged that, and that saved him from being my boo-hoo opponent of the week. Because boy, after all that trash he was talking, and then turned around and got cooked by some Bryce. Boy, I was like, yeah, he the boo-hoo, but Jamar Chase wound up winning that one. So yeah. So do you have to take care of the field this week since we on the road? Uh-oh. We done lost our resident Super Bowl champion, T. Feezy, Coach T. Feezy. Let me see if we can get him back here in a little bit. I know he's in commute and he's traveling. Billy, man, what was one of the most electrifying Chiefs play today?
I would say one of the ones is, I hate to say this, but I missed it. My wife had to she had to it's one of those old man moves. I had to run to the bathroom.
Hey, you tried to say, let me see one more play. That bladder said, play with me if you want to.
She videoed it, man. That's just so funny because we didn't have enough time to even watch the replay. So she videoed it, and it's so funny. So I was able to see it. But the one play was when was that Rice? When Rice ran down, and caught this one electric ball. He caught the one. I think, was that what happened? Yes. And so I think that's one of the most, when Rice caught was it the one touchdown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Down the sideline.
On the sideline. Yes.
Yeah. To me, the most.
I know some other ones, but that was the one.
Yeah. That was to me the most exciting. That was the exciting play because of the result. But to me, the most electrifying play was, I think it was the second drive. Pacheco slid off the edge, bounced back in.
Oh yeah,
and chunked up the middle. That showed to me toughness. That showed grit, and that showed that we wasn't going nowhere. And everything y'all can do, we can do better. What a game! It went back and forth. It went the way two teams at the top of the peak were supposed to do. This was also in the collection. Every game that the Chiefs, Mahomes versus Bengals with Burrow has come together has been 3 points. This game was 1 point. So no game between the two men have been decided above 3 points. I think now Burrow's record is 3-2 against Patrick Mahomes. But when it counts, both of them got a championship game win. We went on ahead to win the Super Bowl. They lost in the Super Bowl. And right now, you have to be feeling great as a member of Chiefs Kingdom to play the way you saw and still be 2-0.
Still win
games of versus the Ravens and the Bengals. T, as a fan, how are you feeling?
You got me back on?
Yeah, I got you on. As a fan, how you feeling?
I think, this ride we have been on since Andy Reid and now Patrick Mahomes coming in the fold. My feelings about the game has just been above beyond my normal state coming from where we used to be at. So it can't do nothing but feel better than yesteryear. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yesteryear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I'm always excited this time of the year. Loading up going to training camp and stuff like that. It's just, it's about time to start. Since we go to the show and have our parade, we don't get too much rest anymore. We probably got a month off, and then it's time to. Man, somebody didn't. Come on. Then it's time to get back at it. Boy just stuck his whole finger. Hey, the boy stuck his whole finger out the window at me. I don't know.
Hey, what a lot of people don't realize, Billy, is T is a hilarious storyteller. And as the season goes in, man, that brother got some stories that is hilarious that we're going to get him to tear off into. But it's amazing how much winning we can get done when we ain't in Westport.
Oh,
Hey,
they got the raps. They got the raps on. They got the raps on that now. So that ain't
yes,
no
sir.
more. They got.
So is the game at Club Feezy next week, or what's the deal?
Yeah, it's a late one, but yeah, I don't know. I might have some people up. I might host it. I could call y'all to come do the show out there, huh?
Yeah, that would be something. That would be something.
Yeah. I know you two brothers are coming from the church folk aspect of it. I am too in some ways, but I see a few libations going on out there, y'all. So I don't know.
Hey, look, T. Lee, when we put it on camera, we don't put it on camera. You know, we still from that same old school. Put your phone in that bowl right there and don't move. Don't make it move.
We got to collect everybody's phone when they walk in the door. If you don't leave your phone, you can't get in. Bye.
Hey, T has had some legendary say gatherings that before the season is over, we'll get a chance to expound on some of them as best we can. But yeah, that would be dope, man. We just let the people know when we live, and yeah, I think that would be dope.
Yeah, I got a whole backdrop like I got a club for real and everything out there.
Yeah, I don't see
it. I'm telling too much. My bad.
Hey, T, you've been one heck of a coach, and you've been a leader of men. So let's journey back to 1998, and you coaching us, and we 2-0. We done had some close ones, but we are the defending champs. What are you telling us to do and not to do coming up playing against a team that is very beatable, as we have coming up? How would you direct your men?
Well, the first thing, you can't overlook your opponent. You know, they got to go out and play just like you do. They're competing. You're the target since you're 2-0. So get ready, stay focused, hit them playbooks like you know how to. Got any questions? You're unsure about a few things. Make sure you get with your coach on staff and get all those T's crossed and I's dotted. Get your mental part of it down too. It's more than just getting that playbook and studying things. You got to see yourself. That's one of the things how we did the quiet before the storm, before every game. Remember? See yourself.
Yep, visualization.
Yep, cut all the lights off and just picture yourself doing great things before each game, during the game. So that's basically what I tell them. I mean, I have two stats as an undefeated season as well. So just stay focused, man. Don't overlook the next opponent. Just be who you are, be true to yourself, be true to the team. Because success comes as us working together, or as far as you guys, us coaching and you players doing what you do as a unit.
Definitely. That is great, solid coaching advice from Coach T. Feezy, the Afterthought Podcast, resident Super Bowl champion, three-time Super Bowl champion. And I'm looking forward, man, to the season ahead. I'm looking forward to all of the laughs, some stories. Yeah, we'll make sure we talk first to make because they've been legendary, boy. We got some man. I was thinking about the other day, T, when we went up to Iowa and we beat up on the trackers, but boy, man.
No, we're gonna leave that one alone there, bro. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, man.
Great time.
Yeah. Chiefs, man, although they have not put together their best complete package, we still find ourselves 2-0. And again, defeating the Ravens, defeating the Bengals. Man, really, all you can hear people saying, oh, man, y'all got lucky. Y'all, man, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And we understand the Chiefs are a very dynamic, awesome, explosive team. But we needed a little luck these last 2 weeks, and we'll take it. We'll take it. We will take it.
That's one of them folks times where you don't got to argue with nobody about that. A W is a W. I don't care how you get it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, I may not have the cutest girl at the prom, but I still got a prom date.
That's right. It ain't gonna have no asterisk on the side saying they got lucky. They gonna say they won. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and you know what? A lot of times people make excuses, but doesn't that mark a great championship style defense?
Yeah. All of it does.
Yeah. So, well, fellas, I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully we'll get a chance to be talking about another Chiefs victory. I'm gonna be working on trying to get some of me and Billy's Atlanta connects to jump on with us after this win next week. And hopefully, possibly, we might be Billy live from Club T Feezy.
All right. Let's get it, man.
That's right. Let's get it.
All right, man. Well, y'all be safe on the evening. Y'all catch us. Chiefs Kingdom. Make sure you share this. Chiefs Kingdom. Make sure you spread the word because we on that road to 3 of them. You understand? You cannot win 3 unless you done put together 2. Till the next time, y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Let's go.